right, today we're going to learn how to make a podcast. Let's start by opening up the software. It's called Audacity. If you click on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you'll access the Start menu. And then click on All Programs and go to Audacity. Okay, sometimes it'll ask you to update plugins. That's okay, click OK. When it's all updated and ready, just click OK, and your screen should look like this. Audacity is a sound editing program. So we're going to create a podcast with 3 specific tracks or sounds. The first one is a letter. The podcast is going to be about a letter that someone who was involved in the gold rush wrote during, those gold rush times. It's a real letter. The second sound will be some sound effects. So a sound of like a mining cart in a mine. And then the third sound will be the song Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. That's the song. Okay, so let's begin. In Audacity, we're going to import our sounds. A lot of times people get confused and they click open. Don't do that. Click import and then audio. Then you'll have to find the sounds. They're located in a special location on your computer. So click on the computer icon and then go to Stu Public. From there, scroll down just a little bit so you find the folder called Computer Integration. When you open that, you're going to look for Gold Rush Podcast. Let's start by importing the Clementine song. All right. Can you guess what these little lines are? Hopefully you were right. It's sound waves. So let's hit this button here, which brings you to the very start of your track, and hit play, and we'll hear what it sounds like. Okay, I just hit stop, and now I'm going to go to File and import again, and we're looking for that second audio file called Letter. Let's hit open, and you'll see it's brought in. Now the Clementine track is shorter in length than the letter, so we'll fix that later. For now, I'm going to click the mute button, and then I'm going to hit the skip to start button, and I'm going to listen to a little bit of the letter. February 12th, 1850, to J.C. Fairchild and family. I think we're in the poorest diggings in the country. Okay, so that is me trying to sound like a miner. I know it's pretty lame. Anyway, you've got a letter. So I'm going to hit the mute button on the letter and add the last part of it, which is the sound effect. To do that, I go to File, Import, Audio. And then I click on the mining button. When I click on that and then I hit open, you'll see that a short sound effect pops up. All right, let's hit the skip to start button and hit play. That's supposed to be the sound of a gold rush mining car. Like, there'd be tracks into the mine and the cart would be chugging along. Okay, so I'm going to now unmute my letter and unmute Clementine. Now is a great time to save. So I go to File, Save Project As. And it says, warning, you're saving an Audacity project. That's okay. So we're going to hit OK. And I want you to go to your libraries, and then music, and then give it a name, something simple like Smith, which is my last name, and then Gold Rush Podcast, which is the name of the project. I'll hit the save button. Now I know where to find my project and start on it. Should I mess something up or lose it? Whatever. Okay. Now I'm going to hit the skip to start again. I'm going to play all sounds at once, and we'll notice that some of the balance is off. Here we go.
February 12th, 1850, to J.C. Fairchild and family.
Okay, so you might have noticed that the song Clementine is way too loud. It's also too short. So I'm going to highlight it just like that. There are different tools in Audacity, and the tool we're using is this one right here. It's called Selection Tool. So we're going to highlight our whole song, and then we're going to move it. Then we're going to change the level of it. So we're going to go to Effect, and then we're going to Amplify. And I'm going to bring it down a few decibels. Let's just do -1.8. You can do as much as you want to play with it, but for now I'll try that. I'll hit OK, and when we see it's done, notice the sound waves are a little bit smaller. Okay, so let's hit the skip to start and hit play.
February 12th, 1850.
Okay, so it did go down a little bit. Let's hit save again, and this time we just need to go to Save Project. Okay, now we're going to have a little bit of an introduction before our voice comes. So the tool to use for that is called Time Shift. What this does, it allows you to take your track, and in this case I'm going to take the letter and shift it out. And I'm going to start the letter at about 5 seconds in. So we have music first and then the letter. You know what else I want to do? I want to use my selection tool and highlight those first 5 seconds. Go to Effect, and I want to fade it in. So it starts out softly, and then it gets to the normal volume. I also want to use my Time Shift tool to take this sound effect of the mining cart, not have it start until my letter begins. All right, let's hit to the beginning and hit play and see what it sounds like.
February 12th, 1850, to J.C. Fairchild and family.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to save. And you might find that there's some additional changes you'd like to make. Maybe you feel that my voice is too loud, so use the selection tool. And then hopefully you remember how to change it. Go to Effect and go to Amplify. You can bring it down a little bit. You can also make something a little louder. Your goal is to make it sound as clear and good as possible. We also need to make the song longer. So to do that, we're going to go to this tool right here, the Selection tool. And I'm going to select all but that first 5 seconds where I fade in. And I'm going to go to Edit and Copy. I'm going to click here and go to Edit and Paste. And what I did is I just pasted that song, and I use my Time Shift tool to get rid of any blank space. Now, I want to know what this sounds like, but I don't want to listen to it from the beginning. So I'm going to take that selection tool, click right here, and hit play and see what it sounds like.
Of any consequence, but to our surprise, we found it the richest.
Okay, so it sounds like it repeated kind of weirdly. So in that case, I might adjust it. But for now, I'm going to leave it alone because this video is already too long. Toward the end, I'm going to highlight right here because it's just a second or two beyond my letter. And then I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard. And it didn't, oh, you see, and then it just deleted. Okay, good. I also want to highlight like the last 5 seconds of the song. And I'm going to fade it out. So I'm going to go to Effect and Fade Out. All right, I'm going to save. Okay, let's see. Now, I want to do something called looping. Loop is another word for repeat. So I'm going to highlight, using my selection tool, I'm going to highlight this sound effect here and go to Edit, Copy, and then I'm going to click and go to Edit, Paste. Then I'm going to grab that Time Shift tool and slide it over. Now I'm going to copy both of these sound effects. Go to Edit, Copy, I'm going to click here, go to Edit, Paste. Grab my time shift tool and drag it to the left. Okay, now again I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to do 4 of them this time. So highlight, edit, copy, click here, edit, paste, and then use the time shift tool. Very good. So let's see where we're at. Oh, it's a little bit longer. Okay, so then I'm going to take my selection tool and select right to the end, and then hit the delete key. And then I'm going to fade out the last 5 seconds of this mining track. So I go to Effect, and then Fade Out. All right, let's skip to the beginning, or skip to start and hit play.
February 12th, 1850, to J.C. Fairchild and family.
All right, so we're not going to listen to the whole thing, but your goal is to make a podcast that has these 3 tracks: the Clementine song, the letter, and the mining track. And you need to make it sound as awesome as you can by looping the mining track, by adjusting the volume or amplifying, and then also by fading in and fading out, and also using the time shift tool. So you want a good 5 or 10 seconds of introduction music. At the end, it's really a good idea to have some extra introduction music as well to fade it out. I didn't do that here. When you are all done, you're going to save project, and then this is how you have to turn it in. Go to File and Export. You'll get this weird error. Just click OK. And then right here, you need to choose MP3 files. Okay, and you want to save it under Libraries, Music, and call it your last name, and then Gold Rush Podcast. You're saving it as an MP3 file. So hit Save, and it says, warning, your tracks will be mixed down to 2 stereo channels, and that's okay. So we hit OK. It's going to ask you to edit the metadata. So if you want to write that you're the artist name, the title of the track is Gold Rush Podcast, you can. Honestly, for this project, I just skip it and hit OK. And then it will save for you. All right, now you have your MP3 file. So let's go to our Windows Explorer folder, and then go to our music folder, and let's find Smith Gold Rush. Now, do you see how this says right here, Smith Gold Rush, the type is an Audacity project file? That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the MP3 file. You'll notice that it has an icon with a little note on it. If you double-click that MP3 file, it'll open up in Windows Media Player, and you can listen to your podcast.
February 12th, 1850.
All right, so once you're done, you're going to upload that MP3 file to the Google Classroom website. Do not upload this AUP file, which is the Audacity file. It has to be the MP3 file, okay? Best of luck, and if you have any questions, let me know.